UAAP Women's Volleyball Finals now down to a Game 3. UST and Ateneo will have a chance to make history this weekend. A victory for UST will end a 9-year title drought for the Tigresses, while Ateneo will try to win their third women's volleyball crown. So, let's ask our legends in the studio, what should we expect from UST and Ateneo in game number 3? We're still with Miss CHARO Soriano and Miss Michele Gumabao, and you're going to share the keys to winning for both teams. Let's start with UST. CHARO, keys to winning for UST in game 3.
Well, looking at game 2, first set pa lang, they already had a lot of errors. They had 13 errors all in all. And amongst those errors, 7 of those are service errors. So when there's a service error, and I see this because I also had a coaching stint before, you really need to talk to the players because it's normally mental. When you have a service error, it's like a free throw. You have to really calm your nerves and you have to focus on the game. And that wasn't there for UST. We saw that they had 7 errors in services. And another thing that they need to work on is the ball distribution. Michelle mentioned it earlier. We've been talking about it also. They need to be able to distribute the balls, not only to CC and Aya. Everybody knows that they're already getting the attack percentages, but it's when Caitlin Viray helps and Goldones helps and Pacres helps, that's when they get the wins, by the sets or by the games. So there. And of course, a healthy Aya Laure. We're all praying for her and we want her back in game 3.
Yeah, and we might as well mention that all 3 of us medyo shed a tear.
Yes.
Nung binuhat ni Eddie Laure si Aya, ako, I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah.
Medyo naiyak ako doon. I have a daughter.
Nakakaiyak talaga siya.
You kind of get affected with that, and I think to really have the best game 3 experience, Aya Laure hopefully bounces back. 2 days to rest.
Yes.
I think the 2 of you have had experience playing through an injury. We certainly hope Aya can fight through the whatever pain that ankle sprain might bring. So CHARO's keys to winning for UST, less errors, small ball distribution, and we all want to see a healthy Aya Laure. Michelle, your keys to winning for UST.
UST has to focus on their strengths, which is their offense and their defense. So if they're aggressive, they'll be able to do that. And yun yung nawala in their game number 2, that aggressiveness, that fire in their eyes, the passion that they really want to win. You saw that in their games versus LaSalle. You saw that in game 1 versus Ateneo. And that in game 2, you saw doubt, you saw their vulnerability, and you just want to see them focused and aggressive. And of course, strong service. We all know if you're going up against Ateneo, you have to be able to get them out of their comfort zone, which is their middle attack. So you want to push them to their wings or push them to the opposite. So you have to have a strong serve so that they won't be able to get their first ball up.
All right. I guess the main message that the 2 of you are trying to send here is that UST can look back to game 1, really go back to what worked for them in game 1 and do that again in game 3. Is that correct?
Yes, and also look back at the games wherein you saw the weaknesses of Ateneo come out and their vulnerability come out. And you can also pick and choose from all the games that you had with them or the games that Ateneo has with other teams. And you can be able to derive a play from those previous plays.
All right. Now let's go to the Ateneo side. The keys to winning for the Ateneo Lady Eagles. CHARO, let's see your list.
My list basically encompasses one major concept in volleyball, which is fluidity. I think Ateneo plays best if they're happy, relaxed, and fluid. When I say fluid, the first thing that they need to do is better the ball when it comes to reception and floor defense. And that's where Dani comes in. That's why I keep on saying what Dani did in game 2 is very, very important. And she needs to replicate and do the same thing or even better in game 3. For her to give the ball to Dina and for Dina to actually be able to distribute the balls properly to the middles and to Kat so that their open hitters are not very much pressured and overly burdened by the balls, by the sets coming from out of system. So there you go, fluidity for me.
And then your third key to winning involves BDL and Madi Madayag.
Yes, well, BDL and Madi, we've all been talking about them also. Middle attacks are quite important, but for them to be able to really be exceptional in game 3, they need to do more of the slide plays. So not only A plays coming from Dina Wong, they need to be able to make the blockers of UST move also laterally. So a be quick and a slide would be best for Bea and Madi as well.
Let's go to Michelle's keys to winning for the Lady Eagles. Michele, what must Ateneo do in game 3?
We always say this, but we'll never get tired. They need their first ball because as CHARO said, you need to activate the middles, and it all starts with the first ball. I think that's what Danny really stepped into and brought into that game number 2 was her first ball. Even Pongay and Jules had great reception in that game, so it helped Dina distribute. Also, a strong serve. Since UST is an attacking team, you have the number 1 and number 2 best spikers in the league. You have to be able to have a strong serve so that they won't be able to, you won't make it easy for them to score a point. Even though we know that they can go up against double, triple blocks, it will be more beneficial for Ateneo to have a strong serve. And lastly, I want to see Ateneo play like how they did in the 4th set. And CHARO agrees with this. They were relaxed, they were confident. And if Ateneo can maintain that emotion or that composure all throughout the game, they'll be happy and they'll play like how they are.
That sounds simpler. I think in
Simpler
theory,
said than done.
It's a game 3, winner take all. We expect
Yes.
MOA to be packed on Saturday, and then you say, okay, you have to relax. Maybe, I don't know if a lot of people have that ability like Michelle, that you can play relaxed in a championship game. So how do you do that? I mean, how?
In game number 2, Sir Miko, Ateneo was actually more relaxed as compared to UST. Maybe because they had more recent championship experience as compared to UST, wherein the crowd is that big as well. And some of these players already have a championship trophy under their belts. So they were much more composed. So in the first set, when we saw them neck and neck, Ateneo emerged victorious in that first set. You can credit that to how well they could think in midst of pressure.
Thank you very much to our legends in the studio, Miss CHARO Soriano and Miss Michelle Gumabao. Now, for more coverage of the UAAP Finals, go to sports.abs-cbn.com. Now, still ahead, the San Miguel Beermen stage an epic rally to earn their 5th straight PBA Philippine Cup. We'll talk about that when the score returns.